Hello everyone, welcome back to the AGF Design Studio channel. Today we're going to be looking at and learning about Adobe Illustrator for the iPad as I recreate this lettering piece. This will go over major features of the app as well as tips and techniques for vectorizing your lettering. Are we ready to go? Let's jump in. So before we get started, we're going to take a look at setting up our canvas. On the right-hand side, you'll find the Precision panel, where your guides, ruler, and grid live. Toggle the grid option to add grid lines to your work. You can edit the color of your grid lines, as well as the spacing by simply dragging your stylus left and right to change your values. You can also add subdivisions. The ruler is great for measuring distance on your canvas, and guides help you establish a foundation and consistency, which will be key when we're drawing our letters. Much like in the desktop version of Illustrator, guides can be created quickly by dragging from the ruler. Want to make a custom guide? Draw your lines on your canvas and select the object icon, and then hit Convert to Guide. You can select and move your guides, and if you want to lock them, you can simply hit the Lock All Guides icon. Layers are important for keeping our documents organized. You can rename your layers by sliding left and hitting the T. Locking your layers is as simple as tapping the lock icon to the right, and visibility of any layer can be toggled on and off using the eye icon. Generally speaking, when we're plotting our points for our letters, we want to only plot as many points as we'll need. Having too many points can make it harder to control the shapes of our letter forms. Here you can see that I'm using the rectangle shape to create the stem of this F. So I've created the shape, but I want to get rid of the stroke. I can do that by hitting the colored ring on the left-hand side here and selecting this slash icon. From here, I'm going to manipulate the points of this shape to better align it to my sketch. This is where we'll use the Path tool. This is what allows me to select individual points. If you ever want to select multiple points in different areas of your shape, simply use the Touch shortcut to highlight any additional points. Now I'm ready to create the cross strokes of this F. For this, I'm going to use the Pen tool. So drawing a box is as simple as making a point at each angle and connecting the dots. From here, you can just close your shape. Now, I see that these shapes for my cross strokes are very similar, so I want to just use this shape again. I can do that by tapping the duplicate button that looks like two boxes with a plus sign icon. Now we're going to move on to the U, which is where we'll see how plotting points along a curve works. For this, I'm going to be using the Pen tool again. As you can see, to bring up my handles for my curves, I simply pull away from my point, dragging in either direction. After I'm done drawing and closing my shape, I can go back in with my Path tool and make any adjustments that I need. As you can see, when I tap a point, it highlights blue. Points with handles will have them appear when selected. The white points at the ends of the handles are how we control our curves. I can twist it to either side, and with the handy indicator of my angle, I know when I'm level and straight. Here I'm just adjusting the lengths of my handles so that they're relatively even, going vertically and horizontally. To delete a point, just tap and hold it. If I want this point to lose its handles, I can simply select the Convert to Corner to convert it to an angle. Converting it back is as simple as converting to curve. Conversions are made even easier by simply double tapping your point. What if I want to break my handles, for example, and have them go in separate directions? Using the touch shortcut, you can do this easily. Just place your point, drag away to create your handles, tap the end of your handle, and touch and hold the touch shortcut. Next, we're going to look at joining paths and making shapes. Remember that F we drew? The shapes are still separate, but I want to make them a complete shape. To do that, I can just select my shapes and go to the Combine Shapes panel. This feature is really nice because it previews for you all the possible outcomes of each icon. I want a filled shape, so I'm selecting Combine All and then tapping Convert to Path. Now we're going to be looking at some tricks and tips for illustrations. For this, I'm going to start by using the pencil tool. With the pencil tool, it's super easy to draw lines in vector. As you can see, every line has a series of points along it, but feel free to use the Path tool to edit your points and remove any that you feel are unnecessary. I'm looking at the way this has been drawn, and I've made some adjustments, but I don't really like the look of my stroke. So I'm going to go over to the Properties panel to change it. With all of my lines selected, I can go to Properties and adjust the color, style, and weight of my stroke. There's a lot of variety here, so feel free to experiment. Now to add the leaves. Here, the smoothing tool is a great way to control your strokes. And as you can see that as I'm done creating this shape, the program just completely closes it for me, which is really handy. Now I think I'm just going to use the same leaf shape over and over, so I'm going to go back to that duplicate tool. To flip them around as I need, I'm just going to go over to the Align panel and flip them over horizontally or vertically as I need. As you can see, I have a symmetrical effect going on here. There are a few ways that I can mimic this for my final piece, so let's take a look. I can simply select my lines and my leaves and flip them over. Illustrator for iPad also has this really cool feature called Mirror Repeat. By selecting all of my objects again, I'm going to select Mirror. As you can see, a center line appears, which can be moved and controlled using the center point. It can also be rotated around as needed. Now to add some color. From here, I can select any color from my color wheel, and coloring is very simple. But I have a gradient effect in my original piece. What if I want something like that? Simply select again, and hit the gradient section of the color panel. You have the option to apply linear, radial, or path gradients. But as you can see, the gradient is being applied to each individual letter, but I actually want it to be applied evenly across the letters, so I don't have to adjust every single color setting. How do I do this? I can just go to the Object panel and select Make Compound Path. As you can see, the gradient is now spanning across all the letters, making it way easier for me to edit quickly. Cool, right? Alright guys, what do you think of the final piece? I really like the effect that it's gotten from the vector version of the illustration. It's very interesting, and now I have an infinitely scalable version of this art piece. But now that's it. That's it for me, guys. I'll be doing a proper overview of Illustrator for the iPad in the coming weeks, so definitely stay tuned for that. In the meantime, give this video a like if it helped you out, and let me know in a comment below if you have any questions. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.